Now, West Indies United at the time was the premier top team, West Indian team in Toronto. Yeah. Vincent wasn't a very good player. He tried. That's it. I had enough of this. I never went back to a Barbados Sports Club game after that.
All right. This next stop is it's gonna take me to one of the old timers, and I think we're gonna meet up with another old timer who was one of the original founders of the Barbados Sports Club. I haven't seen this guy in a long time, but I think it's pretty cool to see him right now. It's been a long time, so I'm interested and excited to hear what he has to tell me about the beginning of this sports club back in the 60s, man.
Then we decided we were going to try to find a place.
Correct.
Me, Eddie, the one who died, Albert, and somebody, the electrician guy from St. Peter, Rupert, Chandler. We got together and decided that we're going to look for a place somewhere in the Parkdale area to have a clubhouse. And we had this great idea about having computers for our kids when they come along, because computers had just started to get popular. And somewhere along the line, things just never went any further.
But I feel that, Rupert, before we got there, years before that, in between 72 and that period, the Barbados Sports Club was already developing due to the gravitation of the Bajans in Markham Street, Bathurst, DuPont, Tyndall, Jameson,
Spencer,
and it was a fury of Bajans.
Yeah, true.
We used to gravitate towards St. Mark's Church Hall for the fets. So we were so strong and so developed.
As a matter of fact, we converted the church hall into a dance hall.
Right.
Because I remember going down there and it was all old furniture and all kind of stuff. And we cleaned it up. I think the same Winston Chandler, who's the electrician, he wired, and every weekend we had a party or a dance down there.
And thanks to Police Constable Percy Cummings. We can never forget Percy, because Percy attended all of our dances and make sure
and kept things under control.
And I think we owe a lot of gratitude to Percy. And I'm so delightful that grown McNichols.
His name is Percy Cummings. Vincent called me about starting a soccer club. Not in my in my mind, I'm not thinking a Barbadian club, but a soccer club. And I said, fine. Knowing that he was from Barbados, I said, okay, he's a Bajan just like me. So I was all in. But then when the seriousness of this thing came to me, I decided, well, I know a couple other Barbadian guys who are good soccer players, and if I can get them to come and join up with me, then this thing might take off. And it did. So I got a hold of Chris Rollins, who was a super soccer player in Barbados, on the verge of making the Barbados national team before he came to Canada, who was one of my idols growing up in New Orleans. And then Wayne Phillips, we call him Pepe, another New Orleans boy, another Beverly Hills player. He came, and like I said, it took off.
I think we must go back to one of the founding members, which is correct, is Mr. Vincent Skeete. But we must remember the first president, Harold Hoyt, the late Harold Hoyt. At that time, he wrote for the Contrast.
Well, Contrast wasn't even started yet.
He helped started the Contrast.
Yeah, he started Contrast.
And he was the president, the first president of the Barbados Sports Club.
And Rawl Small, who we can't forget,
was also there.
Was the vice president.
Yeah.
Contrast was the first black community newspaper in Toronto. Harold Hoyt, and I think the other guy, I don't know his name, but I know he was Nova Scotian, a black Nova Scotian.
Yeah. President of the Nation newspaper in Barbados.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he expanded that to Jamaica at some point also in his life.
I'm not too sure if he was in Jamaica, but we still have pictures of Harold because he came up here and made some presentations a couple years back in the 70s to the I have some pictures there. Oh, you have the pictures. Yeah.
So Harold did some.
Yeah, Harold was the first president.
Some groundwork.
Oh,
yeah, he was president, and Ross Small was vice president.
I'll take that picture afterwards.
Sure. And we can remember he was living in Tonker Park.
This picture here is Harold Hoyt, president, Ross Small, vice president, and Neville Smith. Ross Small, Harold Hoyt, Neville Smith. So this is the first official Barbados Sports Club picture. I don't know if another one. When
you look back at that picture, how does it make you feel? Like, what do you think about it as you look back?
Oh, it brings back a lot of memories. It brings back a lot of memories, and good memories and sadness, because quite a few of the guys have passed on, and when I think about the good times that we had both on and off the soccer field, I have a tinge of sadness because some of the guys passed away without us ever sitting down and, reminiscing about the good times that we had.
Right.
And guys like the same Chris Rollins, my cousin Pepe Phillips, the old guy.
China?
No, he died when he was in Barbados. Didn't even
Claude
Hines. Who else went by? Who else? Corbett Pigott. Somebody else. Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we never sat down and said, thanks for all the good times we had together.
Do you think that is lacking?
Yeah, it is. Okay, I came to Canada in 1967. Came back in 68 permanently. But every time I went back to Barbados, and I ran into guys like Keith Griffith that I played with, and Norman Proud and Frank Revere, before these guys passed, we would always get together and have a drink and say, boy, they used to call me Jimmy Greaves back home. Greaves, man, we had some good times, man. You remember when we did this? You remember when we did that? And we're adults now, but we are still reminiscing about when we were 18, 19, 17, and that kind of stuff. But we never had that in the Barbados Sports Club. It was always, we played, we had a drink, and we went to our I don't know if it's because the country, the city is so big. Some guys lived in the West End, some guys lived in the East End, some guys live here. We never really sat down as a group after our playing days, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And, just.
But now that we are mature and we're reflecting, when you look at the history of the Barbados Sports Club, there are so many organizations in Toronto who came to the Barbados Sports Club and copied our principles. We were not only open for Barbadians,
No,
we
we
were
had
also
other
open
nationalities
for
as
all
well.
nationalities in the Barbados Sports Club. And somehow they gravitated towards us because the friendliness, the parties, and the devotion to soccer. And out of the soccer sprang so many components of sports. There was netball, there was softball cricket
Table tennis,
that started from the Barbados Sports Club in Toronto, table tennis, basketball, touch football, bowling, and you can find in all of these organizations, they were members of the Barbados Sports Club. So when we think about the Barbados Sports Club, to the point that we had to change the name, it was the Barbados Soccer Club. So we changed it to the Barbados Sports Club. So Barbados Sports and Social Club, to include everybody into the group. And when you meet these fellas on the streets, they all hug you. You can remember those days. Those days were so outstanding.
And there are two things about the Barbados Sports Club that I will always remember. In our heyday, I remember getting a phone call from a guy who played for the Jamaican team. He was a Jamaican national player. Who played for West Indies United.
Oh yeah, I know him.
The Jamaican team.
His name
We
is
got to
going to
hear
come back.
right?
His name is going to come back.
He calls me up and he says to me, Rupert, man.
Doug Lee.
No. His name will come to me. He said, Rupert, man, you think I can come and play with you guys next year? I said, are you serious? Now, West Indies United at the time was the premier
top team,
West Indian team in Toronto. These two guys were former national Jamaican players, but they were so impressed with the way we played and the way we came together. They wanted to leave West Indies United and come and play for Barbados, and they did. Two national players. Q, I don't know Arthur
Kiv.
Is that his last name? Arthur. I know him as Q. Arthur is his first name. And Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick left wing. Yeah, I remember Patrick. Yeah.
And they were national Jamaican players, and they came and played for the Barbados Sports Club. Based only on what? And another thing too, Barbadians were known for cricket. So we surprised a lot of people with our soccer skill. So people would meet me in the subway, and two questions they would ask. When are you guys playing next, and where? And we never knew that Barbadians played soccer, because of our worldwide notoriety for cricket, they figure we were all cricket players. I think those guys wanted to play with us because they saw the talent in us. They were talented. They saw the talent in us, and whenever we played a very high brand of soccer, which surprised a lot of people. Even like our opponents, Italians. Because remember, when we came from Barbados, we only played against our own Barbadian people. Right. When we came to Toronto now, we are playing against Italians, Greeks, South Africans, all nationalities. So, as a matter, I would go this far as saying the soccer that we played in Toronto was a much higher standard than we played in Barbados.
But we should also reflect that immigration had a lot to do with it, because families came up here. There are so many families within the organization.
Yeah,
There
true.
was the Lane family who brought footballers. There's the Barrow family who also brought footballers. There's the Johnson family who brought a number of footballers. You can help me somewhere, Rupert. There's so many families
Yeah.
who played exciting soccer in
But not only,
Barbados
yeah,
who
cause,
came
cause
here.
me and one of the Barbados, we played table tennis as
Okay,
well, right?
all
So
types of
yeah,
sports that we played.
that was
And
Jeffrey or
by
Michael.
coming from Barbados and not realizing that it's a different environment, when you go on the subway and you notice a black on the subway, you're happy because we're not used to see so many blacks then. So they all hook up and took us to where you can meet the Barbadians, eventually the West Indians also. So that's how we came so close together.
And another thing too that was to our benefit. Every time a good soccer player or a national soccer player came up from Barbados, even passing through Toronto, we grabbed him, right? So we got guys like Hayden Clark,
Yes.
a national player.
Mm-hmm.
We got guys like Schofield Clark,
Jeffrey Innes,
mm-hmm.
Austin Yearwood.
Austin Yearwood played a couple of times for us.
Yes.
We had John Corbin, who lived in Montreal.
Still in Montreal.
But whenever he came to Toronto, he played, but we would let him play under somebody else's name. We have Vincent Skeete, who lived in Montreal.
Yes.
Whenever he came to Toronto, he played. Believe it or not, Dennis Cumberbatch,
yes,
who goal kept for Barbados,
kept goals up here first.
Whenever he came to Toronto,
Kept
whether
goal.
on a course or on business, he kept goal for us.
Yeah.
So there was always this influx of good players coming. There's a sadness about it. There's a sadness about it. And like for me, I know there's a sadness about it for how the club disintegrated. We should have done, when I say we, myself included, I became disillusioned at a point where I suppose not you, but when your group came into the club, I remember going to Eglinton Flats one day, standing on the sideline, watching the game. When I had finished playing, but I still used to go and watch and support and that kind of thing. And at halftime, when the guys came off, I don't even know the name of the guy. I gave him some kind of something about what was going on in the game. Like, let's say he was holding the ball too long, men were open, he wasn't passing. He just dismissed me. Like, who the hell are you? You know what I mean? I felt slighted. So here I am, one of the founding members of this sports club, one of the players in the club, a former secretary, a former coach, and I am trying to explain something to you, and you just dismiss me without even finding out who I am. So I decided, you know something? That's it. I had enough of this. I never went back to a Barbados Sports Club game after that.
I wouldn't blame the youngsters. I blame the older members in the club. The youngsters were coming to a new environment, and we really didn't open up ourselves. Some of the youngsters were just going to school. I think we had a right to pay fees, club fees, for some of these youngsters to bring them into the club. But some of us, the oldsters, just turn our backs on these youngsters. We never went out of our way to entice these fellows into the organization. We wanted to remain control of the organization. And when I leave here in 82, went back to Barbados, I was shocked when I came back here. The club was in pieces. I said, why? Because it was a changing generation and the oldsters wanted to continue with the old shop to exclude the youngsters. We couldn't survive that way. Couldn't survive.
Yeah. We made
Some of us,
some blunders along
yeah,
the way.
some of us looked after, and I don't want to put it in the open, some of us look after the youngsters
Yeah,
and
some of us did.
pay
right?
fees for the youngsters. And I know the
Because
people who paid fees for who.
and in saying this, now like I said, a lot of us live, like the Lanes lived in Parkdale. I lived in Parkdale. Chris lived in Parkdale.
I was in Markham. Markham
So
Street.
there was a group of us that was always in contact. Like say Whitney. When Whitney was, who knows, 14,
Tyndale,
14 years old, he became like my little brother.
That's Whitney Lane.
Whitney Lane.
Whitney
So
Lane,
Brox was his uncle.
That's Clayton's Lane
Nephew, right?
and Carlos Lane's nephew also.
Yeah.
And in that
Molly's son.
Yeah, in that family we had Susie, who's a netball player.
Yeah.
They all played. Carlos Lane
So
played netball.
we kind of nurtured the young kids that we knew from the neighborhood, but the ones that we really didn't know, we never really got close to them. Like the only 2-3 kids that I can think of that I can say I was relatively close to would be Whitney, Eddie Goodrich's son, and there was another little kid used to come around. I forget his name now. But whenever we were practicing, they would practice with us, and they became a part of the group. Even all Whitney was playing with us when he was like 12, 13 years old. Right? So he was the next wave that came into the Barbados Sports Club. But I knew Whitney when he was, like 10, 12 years old. Yeah. Vincent wasn't a very good player. He tried, but there was something about it. How do I explain this? He was the catalyst for forming the Barbados Sports Club. We all knew he wasn't at our standard as far as ability, but he was always included in the team, right? Like I grew up in New Orleans where somebody would come and say, man, you can't play, get off the field, man, that kind of thing. So you had to be a really good player to be able to play with the Tyrone Fords and the Keith Griffiths and this kind of thing, right? You had to show your skill, or some man going to stand by the canal, man, you can't play, that kind of thing. But Vincent was always part of our team, irrespective of his soccer ability. I don't know what it was, but we and he knew that, but he was part of the team.
Keep your smiling.
But you see, we had 3 soccer teams, plus a reserve team.
And I captained the reserve, the third
and
division.
There were
reserve.
So many people who've never played soccer in Barbados. But when they came here, everybody tried to put on a pair of boots.
Yeah,
and came out to join the action.
And once again, and I don't want to brag, but I remember taking guys under my wing. Richard McCollin was one.
Never knew.
Who I literally had to show
how to
kick a soccer ball, how to control a soccer ball, how to pass a ball. And I took pride over the years to see Richard improve to the point where he can hold his own in the soccer team. But when Richard first come around, Richard couldn't kick a ball from here to that stairs.
I must say also Richard McCollin rose to the rank as vice president of the club also.
We played basketball every Sunday evening at 999 Queen Street.
But now you talk about
Paul Christie Arena.
There's some community organizations that we must acknowledge. And I'm glad that you brought in Queen Street, because right now it's called the Center of Addiction and Mental Health. That was one of the first organizations that allowed us to use their gym. And there was a reason why at that time Queen Street allowed us to use their gym. Back in the early 70s, the government brought in that we have to close down these psychiatric hospitals, go to community housing. And most of these clients were placed in, I must hate to say it, Queen Street, the environment on Queen Street, Jameson, Tyndall, Spencer. A lot of these houses were used to house these patients, outpatients from Queen Street. So we built that, I say, community in those areas through Queen Street. So they supported the Barbados Sports Club by allowing us to use the gym for most of our activities. And we also donated to certain groups at CAMH, Queen Street Mental Health Center at that time. So I know you should be able to remember that, Rupert. Yeah.
I played table tennis there. And the guys played basketball. Colin Rudder, the other Rudder, what's his name? The one who used to play with the headband. Never got there. Colvin Rudder, the Barrow Boys, Chris, basketball on Sundays.
We all control the gym, those facilities, through the Barbados Sports Club.
I think it was the way we presented ourselves. Now, I don't want this to sound the wrong way. You can now. The perception when I first came to Toronto is that, well, from white folks, is that every black person they saw was from Jamaica. Jamaicans had a reputation of being aggressive and violent and, all of that negative stuff, right? But when we go in, we maintain humble with a different kind of attitude than those guys. And I think this is just my personal opinion. They saw in us, I don't know, a refreshing kind of attitude, like somebody they can deal with, non-aggressive, and I don't think there was anything that we wanted that we couldn't get. That is just my personal opinion. Yeah, we were,
I support you there, Rupert, because it's not that we only took from the community. We also give back to the community. We made so many donations to the community organizations. So they're saw us as people that they can work with. And now we talk about donations. It's not only donations within Canada. We also made donations to Barbados.
Yeah, we did.
Any person coming up from Barbados with any illness or anything like that, we were there to support them financially. And a lot of people don't know this, but the Barbados Sports Club, we just want to hear that you're in hospital and you're sick, and some rep was going there to support you financially. And a lot of the Bajans that came up here, sometimes years come, we go back home, say, well, these fellas looked after me when I was in Toronto. And we have also made donations to organizations, netball girls who, the center that used to do the handicrafts in Barbados, the name is going to come back to me. But I have pictures there with these girls, the netball girls donated funds to this organization in Barbados, which I think was great. The Housecraft Center, that's the Housecraft Center in Barbados.
Yeah, we had Roland was from Trinidad.
Caucasian chap from
Archie was from Grenada.
Guyana.
Archie Bulhanaway, he was from Grenada. We had a Guyanese guy, I forget his name.
Caucasian, yes, white chap, yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a white guy from.
Was it George? I think it was George.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Who else we had? We had guys from. Yeah, we had a few. We had a couple. We had a couple Jamaicans. Like I said, Q and Patrick, and there was another guy.
You said Archie Grenadian?
Yeah, Archie's Grenadian. Yeah, Archie's Grenadian. You know, he passed away.
Yeah, no. I had some pictures there about Archie's. Archie's in the picture there.
Yeah, we had some different, and the netball team too
had girls
from other islands as well.
St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Nevis,
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Where did it go wrong? Like I told you. Where did it go wrong? Damn. No. Why I think it went wrong is rather than remaining as a group. This is my feeling. Rather than staying as the Barbados Sports and Cultural Club or whatever, a new group of guys came, joined the Barbados Sports Club, and shortly after you will hear about Barbados ambassadors, and guys left and went and played for Unity, and so it started to fragment into different little groups, and these group of guys here and that group of guys there, and this group leave and go and form their own little thing over there, and it started to fragment. Whereas before, we were all under this big umbrella of the Barbados Sports and Social Club. Who knows?
I think it's the older members of the club were not willing to adjust and change. I wasn't present. I was out of the country. But when I came back, there were so many new faces, and the oldsters were gone, and people, different organizations and so forth. So I would put the blame on the older generation not willing to adjust and adapt.
Jeez. I played at Barbados Sport Club 1992. That summer, you remember? Yeah. It's summer 92. I was 18.
Still in high school?
Yeah, I was 18, still in high school. And I guess I come and play with Barbados Sports Club, the older man. Give me some exposure.
For me, I mean, back when I was first introduced to the Barbados Sports Club, it was through Derek. By seeing me hanging out outside all the time, when I get introduced to it, it was amazing, like watching all the older guys playing. For me, I was young at the time when I get there, so there was a lot to learn from me. I was really green, and they were in a more advanced stage to me, but it was like family. This way, when you go there, the older guys always take care of the younger ones, because they was the senior players, as I would call them, right? So every weekend come, they can guarantee win, lose, or draw, it's gonna still be like a family unity. But over the years, as time goes by, the older players left, the club wasn't the same anymore. And when it changed actually from the sports club to the soccer team, I guess I lost track of that. I didn't even know when that happened, right? I kept playing and playing, but didn't know that there was a change of management and stuff. But over the years, I was able to find out, that it's no longer the sports club as it once was.
And the funny thing is, when you told me you play for the Barbados Sports Club, I remember you telling me you play for the Barbados Sports Club. I want to the racetrack. And I'm saying to myself, how come I don't know this guy?
See? So do you remember? See, new.
Yeah. I saw him at the racetrack, right? First thing he said, he went to Comamere, and I said, "Oh, so did I." Right? Oh, I play for the Barbados Sports Club. I'm one of the founding members of the Barbados Sports Club. How come I don't know you? Right? But now over the years, I understand why. I had already gone.
Yes. I must say we must give thanks to Hopewood Collegiate for allowing us. That's the name of the school. Vaughan Road.
Vaughan and Oakwood. We practiced there too.
Because we use that school for soccer, cricket, and netball. They allowed us to use that grounds. We could have used that grounds 5 days a week. And it was okay.
Was it Oakwood or Vaughan Road Collegiate?
Oakwood.
Oakwood.
We started at Oakwood.
Yes.
And then somehow we went over to Vaughan Road. Yeah. But we used to have pre-season soccer practice matches at Oakwood Collegiate.
Yeah.
Or Brockton behind Dufferin Mall. Brockton Stadium behind Dufferin Mall.
Tell me about Greenwood, because
that was our home. Well, man, like we could be here. We could be here all week. Listen, our first season, we played at Earl's Court Park.
Yes.
St. Clair and Earl's Court Avenue. And we won the 3rd division and got promoted to the 2nd, but that was in the West. And I don't know how we got promoted to the 2nd Division East, and Greenwood became our home ground. Greenwood and Gerard. Dusty.
But we had the crowds.
Man. We had the crowds. And it wasn't uncommon. And this is one of the things about playing back in those days I always remember. It wasn't uncommon to see a whole bunch of West Indians on the west side of Greenwood and a whole bunch of white folks on the east side. So at halftime, we would get someone to go around and pass the hat and collect sometimes, $300, $400, and who knows whatever became. I think the opposing team would get some, and we would keep some for ourselves. And then another aspect of that, I worked downtown, and I would be on the subway, and some random guy would come to me and say to me, "You play for the Barbados Sports Club?" I say, "Yeah." He said, "When are you guys playing again? I like the way you guys play." "Oh, our next game is, next Wednesday. Our home ground is Greenwood." And boom, you see the guy there. The guy will come and remind you that I'm the guy that spoke to you on the subway on Thursday. Here's $10, man. I really enjoy watching you guys play. You don't even know the guy's name.
Rupert, there's another component. Out of Greenwood, the Barbados Sports Club was able to advocate for the netball team to play at Greenwood. So in other words, we nip it in the bud that our netball team was the foremost playing at Greenwood, and from there were other netball teams that started playing at Greenwood. So I must say the Barbados Sports Club must take the praise for getting netball into Greenwood.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit of history.
And we had some good dances too.
I heard about
Oh man. Boy, did we ever have some good, man, Lord. People would ask you, when is the next dance?
Sold out.
The church hall, the fire hall, which is across the street on Cowan Avenue, the Masonic Temple, the Latvian Hall, all of those places we had dances. Always sold out. That is why I am so disappointed that with all those successful dances, bus cruises to the States, money making, whatever, we never did get a permanent clubhouse. Even although it was in the works, but somewhere along the line it fell apart.
But you brought up the Masonic Temple. That's on Young. And you must say most of our big fest presentations and things were held at Masonic Temple.
Yeah.
And when we couldn't get the Masonic Temple, then we move up to Thorncliffe Park.
Thorncliffe Park. Yeah.
Lativian Hall. I think that's correct. Yes.
Latvian Hall.
Yes, that's correct. I think for the girls, Walter,
Carlos.
Richard, Carlos Lane, Pat Bowen, Angela Moore.
Yeah, Angela. They're netball girls.
Yeah, these are the people who really looked after netball, and I'm sure they'd be happy to have some discussions with you. For the Barbados Sports Club, I was president for 2 years. I was captain of the First Division soccer team. I was involved in starting the softball cricket. Matter of fact, we even brought a team from Barbados. I was involved in starting the bus tours. And I must say, when we talk about bus tours, we must remember a gentleman by the name of Sam Foster. He's passed away, and his wife is still alive, but she was so instrumental in pushing me to start these bus tours, and also Gene and Frank Brooms. And this is how the bus tour started to New York City. And then we went into football in New York City. At the same time, Montreal, football only, not cricket. Played at East End Spartans and some games, cricket games at Douglas Park for another club.
And don't forget Raw Small, because trust me,
Raw
Small never really got the due in the Barbados Sports Club that he should have. And the reason for me saying that is Rawl was one of the few guys back in the day that had a car.
A big car.
A big car. Big Cadillac. But you always like Cadillacs, right? So when, let me see, he had a Cadillac, Chris had a Ford Fairlane, not a big car. So whenever we had to play out of town, Georgetown, Richmond Hill, wherever, we can depend that Rawls' car is going to have 6 or 7 players, and Chris' car is going to have 5 or 6. And Rawl is going to put his hand in his pocket and buy oranges and drinks and stuff like that, because that is the kind of guy he was. So he was not only the vice president, but he was a financial backer as well, a personal financial backer. And I always gave him his due for that. He was a dedicated Barbados Sports Club member. Not much soccer skill, but he played with us. He practiced with us. Played in the 3rd Division team that I captained at one time. You know, he was always there. He was always there.
I must say that Rawl is the chap who really had the Barbados Sports Club at heart. Rawl not only supported the fellows on the soccer field, but in personal discussions and so forth, certain members went to Raw, and I can remember the joke about one of our members, because we were all not saints, was involved with a legal matter and went to Raw, showed up with Raw dressed in his suit and his big car, and have this member in his car, showed up to the jailhouse. Raw got in with the member, and the first thing the lawyer and the court officer asks, is this your lawyer? And Raw is his suit already. Raw said, no, I'm not his lawyer. I'm representing this child. I'm not his lawyer. And that was a joke with the club for years. Then Raw wanted to break the ASAP meetings. Raw would also come up with this joke, and we all would. That will show the type of person Raw was. Huh?
Shorty is an
Now,
original.
you talk about Trotty. Trotty was in a band. I think Robert, you remember?
Yeah.
Trotty had a band that used to play at Dover Court, and there was a nightclub there on Dover Court.
Not the upstairs side door.
No, near Dover Court and Bloor, further. Oh, it was a Barbadian nightclub too. Trotty remember the name because Trotty was in there. And
that is Chris Rollins there. And that's me. This is after soccer practice in his apartment.
What were you guys doing?
We go cook and drink and have a good time. This is how close we used. That's how close we used to be.
I say that the fellows used to, from Friday nights, and leave Christmas place Sunday night or Monday morning.
Monday morning, yeah.
Yes. And not only Chris, Jeffrey Binter too in the East End. I'm looking here for
you might have heard of Chris.
Yeah, when I came, he was
refereeing.
He was refereeing.
Yeah.
And they told me about him, how good he was and everything, and then he passed.
Yeah.
And that was a big one.
But funny thing, me and him went for all coaching certificates the same time. But we got our coaching certificates the same time. But there was a referee component to it as well, which I wasn't interested in. But he went on to be a top referee. So did my cousin Pepe.
Mm-hmm.
But I never bothered with the refereeing thing. I tried coaching, but like I said, I ended up coaching for Scarborough United, girls and boys. But I never took up the refereeing thing, even although it was very lucrative.
Yeah.
Because I remember Pepe opening the trunk of his car and showing me checks that he didn't cash. You know, because it was good money. He was telling how much money he was making for refereeing 2 games a day. You know.
But then you think about Tyrone Trotman on the soccer field. Skill, but Trotty is going to come on the soccer field and laugh.
Yeah.
And all Tyrone will do, Keith, as soon as I give this man a sharp beat, Trotty's going to give the man a sharp beat, and then on the field start to laugh. That was Tyrone Trotman.
Zoom in here. All right.
You got Rawl Small.
Point them out.
Rawl Small, Harold Hoyt. What's his name again?
Which one?
From Dominica, grew up in Barbados. Oh, Hartford Charles.
Hartford Charles, yeah.
Roland Walker. That's me. Rupert Harris. Leo Cadogan.
He's still in Grove.
Yeah, Clyde Lane. Not Clyde. He's what's Brock's first name?
Clayton
Lane. Colin Rudder. The other Rudder.
Colvin
Rudder. Harold Braffett, the old guy,
Claude Hines.
Claude Hines, Lionel Roberts, Neville Smith. That's Trotty there. What was it?
Tyrone Trotman.
Tyrone Trotman, Vincent Skeete, Chris Rollins, played cricket for Barbados. Glenroy Seeley, Eddie Goodrich, Graham Nichols. The referee's name I don't know.
You do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I know them all.
I told you the other day, your memory is still pretty
My
good.
memory is still good.
That's outstanding. Well, this should be easy then, cause
Oh yeah, I know all of this. Yeah. This is Graham Nichols, Harold Braffett, Calvin Rudder, Lionel Roberts, Carlisle Daniel, Vincent Skeete, Chris Rollins, Clayton Lane, Mike Phillips, me, Rupert Harris, Eddie Goodrich, Hartford Charles.
No. I started in 71. 71. I started. Yeah.
And I don't know, did you see this? This is when we won the Contrast Trophy. I was a captain. So the Contrast Trophy, I don't know if
you have to tell me more about that.
Yeah, I don't know. The Contrast Trophy was a competition for all the black teams in Toronto, and a few guest teams came in from the United States.
Who started that?
Boy, I have no
Contrast newspaper.
Contrast newspaper.
Right, was it
Around Caravana weekend. So it was part of the Caravana festivities. So you had the West Indies teams were West Indies United, Irie, Trinidad team, St. Lucia Flyers, Barbados Sports Club. There was another team too, I forget.
There's one from New York.
Yeah, there was a team from New York and a team from Washington, D.C. that used to come in every year. And this was held at the UAT grounds out on St. George, UAT grounds. But you know, I'll tell you another thing too. Maybe a lot of guys don't know about this, but a lot of top soccer players from Trinidad came to Toronto and Jamaica to try out for the pro teams here, and they never give them a shot. So guys like Everett Cummins and Warren Archibald, who were top class players in Trinidad, national players, could not, for whatever reason, make the Toronto professional team for obvious reasons. Right?
Yeah.
But we used to have Sunday League in Thorncliffe Park. So I had the opportunity to play with and against some of these top soccer players from Trinidad who eventually left and went to the States and managed to play professional soccer down in the States. They couldn't make it here because Toronto was bringing in all washed up players from England, like Peter Lorimer and those guys. He would tell you, all of those guys we played against down the CNE grounds. That was our practice. That was one of our practice fields. When you go straight down Dufferin, at the end of Dufferin, they had a field there. We used to practice there. So I played against or with Peter Lorimer. You know, we actually had a practice game against them in Lamport Stadium because we were practicing one day and we saw this white guy standing by the fence. We didn't know who he was. And after he came to us and says, "Yeah, you guys are not too bad. Would you guys take a practice game?" And we went over to Lamport Stadium. Lamport Stadium had just opened, new artificial turf. We weren't prepared. Never played on artificial turf before, and they give us a good beating. But they were professional players, but we didn't know who they were.
But most of our big games were Highview.
Yeah, Highview.
Yes.
Or Birchmount Stadium.
That's the stadium. I remember playing there and have those days
under the floodlights. Yeah. Anytime we were playing anywhere, you could guarantee we were going to have a big crowd. Anywhere, even out of town, Georgetown, Richmond Hill, we always drew a big crowd.
I definitely feel great, but I know there's so much history that I would like it to happen. Maybe in a couple of years, or we get together and just reminisce not only to the Barbadians but the other West Indian communities. Let them know that years gone back, we came together as a group through sports. And the friendship between the organizations wasn't like now. We were all together, we were West Indians, because at that time, the West Indians, we were a minority group. So we stuck together.
When you saw a black person, in the subway or on the train, you were happy. It didn't matter where they were from.
That's changed now.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
Outnumbered.
No, you can walk past a black person in the street and they don't even acknowledge you.
Don't say anything.
Whereas in our time, you were, it was like, man, I'm so glad to see you.
Do you call that progress?
No, it's not progress. That's not progress.
No.
We've actually taken a step backward.
Correct.
As far as I'm concerned. Because this is outside of soccer now. On Thursdays, we used to go into Bathurst subway station and just stand up, just to meet other black people, especially women.
Yes.
Because most of the black women back in those days were domestics working in Forest Hill or Bathurst Street for the rich Jews. And they used to get Thursdays off and come down to on the side to shop. So we knew that. So we would hang out to the point where sometimes the police used to come and tell us, move on. So you saw other black people and you
nice to see you.
Glad to see you, you come down there to buy patties and get your hair cut and that kind of thing, right? You see a black lady on the street now, you say hello, and they're kind of like, who the hell are you saying hello to me? So it is we step backwards. We step backwards. As far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Yeah, it's not the same. No.
Well, yeah, there are a few people. Like I said, we could be here until next week. We had some fans. Jean Broom, her husband, I forget his name. Frank. An aunt of mine, Pepe's mom.
Oh yes, we'll talk about it.
Eddie Goodridge's former wife. Forget her name though.
I remember the son, Michael.
They weren't members of the sports club per se, but they were part of us. Like, they were our biggest supporters.
Yeah.
So when we are winning, they're cheering. When we're losing, they're driving us forward. You can hear them in the background. You're out there, we're down 3-1 or whatever with 5 minutes to go. They're still up there. Come on, guys, you can do it. This kind of thing. I will never forget them.
Yes.
I will never forget them. And if any kind of skirmish starts, pushing and shoving, they're the first out of the stands, out on the field to represent us. We're talking about women, not men. Women, women. Yeah. So There was somebody else who was always, forget her name now.
Molly?
No, not Molly. There was another lady that followed us wherever we played. I can see her face, don't remember her name. But we had some core diehard support. Yeah, this would be in the 70s, 70s and early 80s, yeah.
Correct. 70s, early 80s, yeah.
They were always there for us, man.
You stopped being around in what year?
Oh, I don't remember, but it had to be in the
around 78.
Yeah,
around
78,
79. Yeah, I'd say around 78.
Yeah.
Because
you were in and out, right?
I say around 90. 90, yeah, 82 I wasn't active. I was back in Barbados. Then when I came back, I noticed everything had collapsed. There was no Rupert to help bring together. And the oldsters had gone.
Yeah, we a lot of us got frustrated and just backed out, unfortunately. I think there was an attempt made, I don't know by who, Walter, I don't know who, but I remember one time I was called to be a presenter at one of the functions. I remember presenting a trophy, I have a picture of it somewhere, to Jeff Hackett, who was awarded Player of the Year or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think around that time, I think there was an effort made to bring some of the oldsters back. There was an attempt made, but somewhere along the line, it didn't materialize into anything.
Okay.
I think you must give credit to Walter Johnson.
Yeah, he kept
his utmost best.
He tried
to bring the club back together. I think Mark Hoyt also brought in his group. As a matter of fact, up to now, developed from that was these masters, the seniors that Mark is still involved in. I think right now they have a competition going on in Barbados. Mark Hoyt, I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, he brought in his group. So somehow things didn't last. It's a changing generation, regretfully. And I'm sorry in a way that it's still not around.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm sorry, because I feel we still have a lot to offer the younger generation, not only Barbadians, but other West Indian or even Canadian organizations, how you build groups and not only kicking a soccer ball or playing cricket, tennis, netball, by interacting, going to the community and show the youngsters, tell the youngsters what we did. And maybe we might be able to change a couple of the youngsters' minds, not only West Indians, but other nationalities also. Rupert, what do you think? Or approach?
I have had a little experience since leaving the Barbados Sports Club. I worked with a couple of youth in Scarborough. I coached some kids from an area there and around Finch and Birchmount area. Ontario housing, kids getting into trouble, and use my experience to try to talk them and steer them in the right direction. Some work. They worked with some, they didn't work with others, but I tried.